Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are talking about Adam Aron's hint, how AMC is predicted to 16x, how the shorts are leaving, and many more in this video. First, we're taking a look at this. From Adam Aron, greedy intermediaries are gobbling up and then scalping AMC movie theater tickets above face prices hurts consumers. To protect our guests and as CEO of the largest movie theater chain in the US, I intend to do something about it, limiting or stopping this on your behalf. We have cross-functional teams actively reviewing how best we can do to do something to put on the brakes on these wannabe ticket brokers. So this is obviously very upfront in terms of what he's addressing to, where potential people are trying to arbitrage AMC tickets, buying it and then selling it off for a higher price. Now, straight away, to me, whilst this is something that is obviously hurting consumers, I think it already gives us an understanding of this demand for AMC tickets. If people aren't willing to go to AMC, if people aren't willing to get AMC tickets, then there would be no demand for these sort of arbitrage movements happening for these tickets. The very fact it is happening is once again showing how the viewers are choosing to go to AMC to watch these movies. So much of the fact that people are seeing an opportunity in buying up the movie theater tickets and then of course selling off to others at a higher price. Once again, it's because of the demand for it. Now, of course, the caveat that comes with this is that potentially because they're buying up all the tickets, there are people who aren't able to get tickets and then go to other places and then buy tickets there. So that's obviously a problem. But I do think that this is already a big thing in terms of talking about people going and choosing AMC as their main choice, to the fact that we are seeing the supply running low. We are seeing the demand so high that the supply isn't able to keep up with it. And so if we are able to see something be done of this, I definitely think that this is good. But another potential thing is potentially to meet the demand, we are going to be seeing an increase in supply. So maybe potential new theaters being built, that's going to then bring in revenue and bring in profit. So I definitely think that this is a good thing to understand after all of the negatives that's been talked about. Now, in terms of the potential hint that I think Adam Aron could be saying, and we've known that Adam Aron likes to drop hints without actually directly saying anything. When we take a look at this, we can obviously apply this towards the short sellers as well. There are synthetics creators, there are market makers who are buying up the shares of AMC, who are then hurting the consumers, aka the apes, the investors. And he obviously wants to protect us. So now this isn't me saying that this is what he's trying to hint, but we've seen in history how he has a past of dropping hints throughout some of the messages and conveying when he says one thing, but he also means another thing. And this could potentially be that. And if we definitely see him who wants AMC price to go up, because understanding that he has the biggest individual shareholder of AMC, we obviously want him to move potential strategies to aid of course, the protection of retail investors, with the ultimate goal of raising the price. And so this is something that I feel like he's also talking about. But I think even just looking at what the face value is, the fact that people are buying up all of these AMC tickets is already showing how people are choosing to go to AMC as opposed to other theaters. When we take a look at the options chain, we are also seeing right now how the potential issue AMC option sellers are facing is that pushing the price below 250 induces a highly suppressed AMC market cap and hence considerable buying pressure. While hedging the 250 calls, while retail keep hodling, may very well push the $3 calls in the money and so on. So we've definitely seen the pressure that's been ongoing for AMC recently, because bear in mind, despite how well we're doing, we're still seeing sort of rejections happening. And this isn't normal, and we know that this isn't normal, because under normal circumstances, when a company within the industry is doing extremely well, the industry is doing well, and they're releasing these news that are breaking records, you should see the volume go up with it. The very fact we're not is because we understand the suppression that's ongoing. And what we understand from this is, of course, the fact that this week we've also saw the $2 max pain being put on AMC. A lot of people are saying that AMC should go to below $2 because of this. And it just shows how forced of a manipulation and suppression it's ongoing right now. But I think they are definitely struggling with this. And with that in mind, when they are struggling with suppressing AMC, what we tend to see is how the volume starts coming in, the price closes above 250, the price carries on, and the pressure that we exert towards these short sellers are then going to push the price up even higher. So going to $3, going to $3.50, going to $4, and of course higher. And so that's something that definitely that we should be looking out for. And I think that it's becoming more and more likely. Because if we take a look at kind of the total option chain movements that's happening right now, you can see October 16th contract added starting today. We're starting to see puts shrink at $2 and $2.50. So despite what they're trying to say, despite they're giving a max paying of $2, and you're seeing these tweets saying that AMC is going to go below $2, the actual options, the actual money is saying something else. They're decreasing their put exposure on AMC at $2.50 and at $2, meaning they actually don't think AMC is going to close below these prices. And we are, of course, seeing how the call options are still increasing for $3, for $3.50 and $4. And this is why it's been a battle right now for these short sellers, where they understand they can't push it below $2, but they're also trying every means possible to not let it close above $3, $3.50, and so on, because they understand the sort of gamma pressure that it's going to cause. But I think this is already showing us what's ongoing in terms of why apes are extremely strong and confident recently. And just overall, the fact that we are doing so well is, of course, going to welcome bullish volume. And so when we talk about are we winning the current short-term fights, despite the fact not seeing AMC going up 10%, not seeing AMC go up 20%, the very fact they're failing to push AMC below $2, the very fact they're trying to hedge these 250 calls and are afraid of AMC going above $3 is already telling us what's happening and how we're beating these guys. And you can see lately there have been too many posts on X, a bit too eager to stress that they are still in control of the AMC price, while recent price development in context of tomorrow's AMC option chains tells an entirely different story. And this is kind of just going on what we said. The fact that decreasing puts while saying that AMC is going to go below $2 is already telling you that they are not confident in terms of what they're trying to say. The fact that they're still trying to say that they're in control of the price as they get more worried that AMC calls for $3 and $3.50 are still ongoingly increasing is also another telltale of how we are exerting that gamma pressure. Ultimately, what they're afraid of is the domino effect, where a gamma squeeze in AMC is going to cause the price to 10x to 50x, and that then ultimately is going to cause the short squeeze of AMC to see 100x, 1000x. And this is what they're trying to avoid as much as possible. But I think it's a big thing that we're seeing how they are failing to keep control of the AMC price. And this has got to do with the liquidity problem that we've been talking about. But I think it's a very good sign that we are already winning. If you want to take a look at the technical analysis for AMC, you can see over 254 brings 290 on fibs. At 291, those 354K $3 calls starts lighting up. So we are in a position where easily we could see the price trigger, we can see the price break above, and we can see these $3 calls going in the money, which is then going to exert the gamma pressure that we've always been highlighting, which will then bring it to 350, and then the same thing happens again, then it brings it to $4, and then the same thing happens again, and it goes on and on and on. Now, the thing about this is that obviously with technical analysis, because of how manipulated AMC is, it's not something as strong. But so far, in terms of what the sentiment, the technical analysis is telling us, in terms of how much bullish pressure there is obviously very high. And so we are looking at a high possibility where AMC can easily close above 254, where AMC can close above $2.90, and more importantly, AMC can close above $3, which is going to trigger all of the things that we've mentioned in the past. And so this is something that is definitely should be looking out for as well. And we talked about technical analysis, we talked about sentiment. When you take a look at the fundamentals of AMC, we are also doing strong. Right now, we are in possibly the best position we've ever been. And this is only going to increase. In a month's time, I'm going to say the same thing. In 2 months' time, when we see the Q3 earnings, I'm going to say the same thing. Because AMC is just becoming a better version of itself every single day. We are on rock solid ground and cash is increasing swiftly. Debt is being removed with discounts as Adam Aron sees fit. No one stepped up to help during years of dire times except AMC apes, and this is the credit that we deserve. But as of AMC and how well it's holding right now and how strong it's going up, we are obviously seeing what's ongoing right now. And so this is something that, like I've said, we are only going to be looking at a better version of AMC every single day. And when Q3 comes around and we see how well Q3 has done, you're going to be saying the same thing. And the same thing will happen when Q4 comes around. You're going to see another record being broken. You're going to say the same thing. But that's just ultimately how well AMC is doing. As of the price targets right now, with AI, we've given how well AMC is doing right now. And this is without consideration of course, dividends, of stock buybacks, of squeeze potential, of gamma potential. This is just talking about AMC purely based off of its fundamentals and the future projections of the box office. You're seeing how AMC can, with an average price target of $32 and then a high price target of $57.62, which is a 16x for AMC. And for me, this is something that is easily doable. And when you talk about the inclusion of gamma squeeze, that becomes even more likely. And this is how we've said that whilst they're trying to give all of these narratives, while the media is trying to paint this this image of this, there is no bullish projection of AMC, the actual data is saying something else. And this is what we ultimately are looking at AMC, and it's what I'm expecting for AMC to do very, very soon. In terms of the liquidity problems, and while we talked about how shorts are obviously worried, when you take a look at what's ongoing for the hedge funds short exposure to treasury funds, and we're seeing what's happening right now, you're definitely looking at what's happening with the liquidity problems. This is something we've already mentioned in the past before, but we've seen so many different areas, not just talking about one particular case, but whether you're looking at the treasury futures, whether you're looking at the Japanese carry yen trades, whether you're looking at the reverse repo, banks failing, all of these things are all pointing to the liquidity problems that these short sellers, these hedge funds are having. And that's why we've said they've been lacking the ability to control and manipulate the price of AMC because of the problems they are facing here. Other examples that we've seen is that throughout this week, the reverse repo has been extremely weak. On Tuesday, we saw 0.155. On Wednesday, we saw 0.317. And then on Thursday, we see 0.225. Extremely low numbers. And bearing in mind that right now, this is because there isn't the ability to inject as much cash as before. We've seen reverse repo at its highs of $2 trillion, and now we're seeing 0.225. So firstly, this gives us an understanding of how much money was injected into the system and how much money they needed to actually bail themselves out. But now, as we're seeing the reverse repo really go down to zero, and then all of a sudden you're seeing this liquidity problem, you're starting to see how all of the things they've done in the past is starting to catch up to them now. And it's precisely because of the liquidity problems that we understand they're unable to suppress and manipulate AMC as much as before. As always, this is Financial Advice, and I'll catch you guys next time.